Bridgeport Township Board to order. I don't have anyone here for the invocation today, but would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? All
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need that.
At this time, I would like to make a motion. Oh, roll call first, sorry. You didn't make it. Thayer.
Here.
Yara. Here. Wilson.
Here.
LaShure.
Here.
Secord.
Here.
I am here, and Mr. Townsend won't be here today. We have a death in the family, so at this point, I would like to make a motion to designate Trustee Darrell Thayer to run the meeting in the absence of Supervisor Townsend.
Second.
All in favor, say aye, we're good.
Aye.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, need adoption of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the adoption of the agenda as presented.
Support.
Support. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No differences? Carries.
Okay, that motion's carried.
Thank you. Let's move on to approval of minutes of July 1st of 2014 regular meeting.
Actually, we have some corrections for those minutes, and at this point, I'd like to make a motion to approve amending the regular Township Board meeting minutes of July 1st, 2014, referencing the public hearing for fire protection. I'd like to amend the motion that read, a motion was made by Miller and seconded by Wilson to approve setting a public hearing date of August 6th for the Public Safety District for fire protection in Bridgeport Charter Township. And we need to change this date for the public hearing to November 17th, 2014, rather than today.
All right, there's a second.
I'll second that.
All right, with that second, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any difference?
Motion is carried. So there is one more amendment.
Okay.
Okay, I will make an amendment to approve amending the Township Board meeting minutes of July 1st, referencing the public hearing for police protection. Basically, this is the same. We're going to amend that motion that read, a motion by LaShure and seconded by Miller to approve setting a public hearing date of August 6th for the Public Safety Assessment District for police protection in Bridgeport Charter Township, and the date will be changed from August 6th to November 17th.
Second.
Okay, with the second, all in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Any difference?
Now I need a motion.
All right. I need a motion for,
I will make the motion to approve the minutes of July 1st, 2014 with the amendments that has been made.
is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any difference? Okay.
Motion is carried.
All right. With that, we're going to move on to the special orders. Public hearing for the sidewalk repairs. This is for the public hearing for sidewalk repairs. All right, what I'm going to ask for is, we'll start off as anyone for the sidewalk repairs. Please come up, state your name, address, and what time. Okay? For sidewalk repairs. People for, pardon?
Name, address, and what?
Name and address, that's all. You okay? Come on.
Or
No. Okay, remember, I said sidewalk repairs, for sidewalk repairs. Okay.
Well, I have 1 for and 1 against, so can I start with the for?
Sure.
Bill Cannon, 4807 South Washington Road. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Bridgeport Township Library, and by the way, just an aside, I want to thank all the voters who voted for the support of the millage for the next 6 years. Thank you very much. We have 2 violation notices according to what I can understand here. We will repair sidewalk section 338, which is cracked and tilted. We are contesting the inspection report on sections 4 and 5 because the items cited are in compliance with the sidewalk specifications, and we have photographs to show that they are in compliance. We have a ruler and we have, so I'll present that at the end, and I have very little left here. Additionally, the sidewalk sections do not adjoin any other pathway. They end in a farm field and are not used by pedestrians. Instead, pedestrians cross the street from our driveway. Cost repairs to the sidewalks in question is $400. We would prefer to use the money to upgrade the well-used sidewalks around the building. So I have pictures to present about our defense, and then that's it.
Okay. All right. You can leave those up here if you like.
Give us your address, I'm sorry.
4807 South Washington.
Thank you, sir. All right, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the sidewalk repair?
Thank you. Hello,
Hi.
I'm the manager of Colonial Manor Townhomes, which are on the corner of Germain and Southfield, so I have quite a few addresses. I'm starting at 2801 Germain and ending at 3106 Southfield. We are for the repairs, however, we have not had those finished yet. I do have quotes, and we fully anticipate to have that done by the end of this month.
Okay,
We're good?
we're good?
What's your name again, please?
Cheryl Van Wert, that's Cheryyle. Last name is V as in Victor, A-N, capital W-E-R-T.
Okay, if I'm going fast, just flag and say, slow down, Mr. Thayer. All right. How we doing, sir?
Hi, good evening, Eddie Fox, 3200 Murgill Drive. I think we all here are in favor of safe sidewalks. What I'm interested in, first of all, is the plan that we're discussing. There is no plan as to,
Excuse me for a second. What do you mean there's no plan?
usually when there's a public hearing, we're discussing what you're going to approve. Are you going to approve what in your minutes,
We're
in
going
your new business? What are you going to?
We're having a public hearing to address favors for the sidewalk or against the sidewalk.
Well, I said we all in favor of safe sidewalks,
Okay.
whether they're uneven, et cetera, but in your business, your new business, you have a sidewalk repair item, and I'd like to know what you're going to approve. If you have a plan to approve that's going to apply to all of us who have sidewalks, that's my comment. So, am I in favor of sidewalks? Yes. Am I in favor of safe sidewalks? Yes. What action will the Township Board be taking against me as a property owner? What is your plan against me or to help me? That's my comment.
Okay.
And if there is no plan, will there be another public hearing to discuss the plan when you decide on what the plan would be?
Okay.
That's my comments about sidewalks.
All right.
So, but having no plan to discuss, I don't know how to give you pros and cons to the plan.
Okay.
But just one additional thing. There are sidewalks in the township that goes to a dead end, and there are sidewalks that have been obstructed for years, like over where the A&P used to be. The new tenant put a fence out there so people from the apartments have to walk out in the grass, and people on wheelchairs actually go out in the street. So hopefully you can deal with that. And also in other areas, there are sidewalks that goes to a dead end. like Mr. Cannon addressed those, will there be a plan, since we're talking about I am pro sidewalk, that those sidewalks that goes to a dead end, like on King Road, walking down King Road back over towards Dixie Highway, the sidewalks sort of end at Linga Lane. I wonder if you're pro sidewalk, will you be doing something to add sidewalks in those areas so people won't have to walk out into the street and make that safe?
Okay,
I'd like to know about that too.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any more in favor of the sidewalks? Anybody would like to speak in favor of the sidewalks?
My name is Yuval Zamora, 3835 Williamson Road. I'm for the repairs. It's just, I had a couple areas that they marked on my property. On the one that they marked on there, I really don't see no difference. It says there has to be a half-inch difference or something like that. I don't see nothing on that. And on the corner, because I live on a corner lot, when they did the asphalt on there, it spilled into my sidewalk. I don't know what they want me to do with that, you know. Another thing I have is down the block from me, in the middle of the block, there's an empty lot there. When they demolished that, they broke up. There's a big chunk missing there. And I don't know who's responsible for that, to take care of it, or if they're gonna do anything with it or not. I thought that's why we had homeowners insurance, in case something happens, because that's our property. You know, so I don't understand why they want us to fix that. I mean, I believe there's safety, there's safety there and everything, and, we clean our own sidewalks. Down the block from me, that empty lot, nobody cleans it, and then the house next to it is the renters, so they never clean it. So I live at one end, my daughter lives on the other end. If I go to her house, I have to go, once I get to that property, I have to go walk on the road. And when she's coming over, it's the same thing. She has to get on the road because nobody cleans them. I just know, I don't know who's responsible for that. And like I said, when they did that asphalt on there, it got on my sidewalk, I don't know what they want me to do with it. I don't feel I'm responsible for it. I'm for every, it should be safety, but when you have renters in there, they don't take care of it. So, we're taking care of our stuff, but the people, that empty lot and the renters there, they could care less. And I just don't understand what they want me to do with mine, because like I said, we've looked it over and I don't see, according to what they want me to do, if it's a half-inch out or whatever, I don't see nothing like that on my property. And like I said, on the asphalt, when they did that, it spilled over to my sidewalk. I really don't know what they want me to do with that.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, any more for favor of the sidewalks?
I'm Brown. I live on Linker Lane, and I'm for safe sidewalks. But I've been there 30 years and I haven't fallen down.
Pardon, I couldn't hear that.
I've been there 30 years and I haven't fallen down at all.
Okay.
On there. Okay, across the block, that's a little raised, there are city trees. And I'm not supposed to do anything about those city trees. They haven't been trimmed at all since I've been there, but that sidewalk that's raised, the roots are pushing that sidewalk up, pushing it up. But it's not bad to me. I can walk on it. But I imagine older people in the neighborhood that like to walk. And I don't know how true it is, but is it true that somebody fell down out there, the reason all of this is being brought about? I'm not sure. Did somebody fall?
I really,
But, yeah, I don't understand, what are we supposed to do about that? Is our problem if the city, we have lots of trees in the neighborhood.
I know.
And they're pushing those sidewalks up, but they're really not, mine is really not bad, it hasn't been marked. But down the street, there's a very obvious one that's pushed all the way up. But it's been replaced at one time, and it's pushed all the way up again, and it's been marked, and red cones put out there. And the lady's gonna wait for the city to repair it. So in case this happens again, the city is responsible. So who is responsible if the city's tree is pushing mine up? And everybody in my neighborhood keeps their homes up, they keep their yards together. I've never been to one of these meetings, I just comply.
You're good.
And do what I'm supposed to do. But I just don't understand this. And who's responsible for it?
Okay, well, we're gonna take everybody's point, and then we'll go down the road.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you. In favor of the sidewalk?
Hi, I'm Rosemary Foster, and I live on the corner of Southfield and Melody Lane. And,
Excuse me one second, I want to make sure
Oh,
that
okay.
we get that.
We're not getting her name.
Okay, go ahead. Your name?
Rosemary Foster, 3439 Southfield Drive. And it's on the corner of Melody Lane and Southfield. And I'm a firm believer in keeping everything up to par as far as that goes. And they marked 2 of my sidewalks, which is just the cracks or whatever, you know. And I got it done. It's grind down.
Okay.
And I called that number, and because they said to call the number if it's finished and whatever. And they were supposed to get back at me, and this was 2 weeks ago, and nobody ever got back at me. So I don't know whether it meets the whatever, but, and then around the curve, as you're coming from Melody Lane and you go onto Southfield, the snowplow damaged, you know, that curve thing, and it's crumbled. And that shouldn't be my responsibility.
Okay.
Because I try to keep everything up to par. And I would appreciate it if they would get back to me if,
Somebody
You
will
know.
get back.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I need clarification, please, because you asked for those who are speaking in favor.
I know.
Now, speaking in favor and then coming up and discussing your personal situation, may I do that also?
All right, let me slow it down. I don't want to get rude.
I don't want you to get rude,
Trying to make
but you
sure-
see what's happening.
I understand. So I'm gonna say it real clear one more time.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
If anybody's in favor
Go over and give her your name and address, please.
of the
Thank you.
sidewalk, please come up to the mic. Now remember, I'm saying in favor. I don't want you to come up to the mic and say that you're in favor, and then you start saying, well, you don't want the sidewalks repaired. I want to be, I want to be fair to the people.
Okay, my name is Pat Rommel, and I live at 2790 Briarwood Drive. Okay,
Your name again, please.
Pat Rommel, Brummell. The address is 2790 Briarwood Drive. Okay, when you talk about in favor, I am in favor of safety. And one of the reasons that I am, because I walk quite often, and 2 years ago I fell on one of the sidewalks. So I have no problem with fixing the sidewalk. My problem is a letter came and stating that it has to be done at a certain time. Okay, and if it's not, then this hearing was called. My question to you is there a plan, you know, to the residents? Do you have a plan, like a proposal to us? For those who are in favor, if this has to be done, if we have no choice, what is your plan in general for the residents of these neighborhoods?
We're going to discuss that when we're all done, taking the favors and the disfavors, okay?
So you don't have to do more. It's finished. Yeah.
My name is Dexter Holiday. I live at 2725 Larry Tim. I got one question I want to know. On the sidewalks, they have a certain measurement, like 2 inches. Now, some of them is not 2 inches. They be grind down. Mine personally is 1/4 of an inch. I measured before I came to this meeting. Now, I was told that I had to take the whole sidewalk up. And I don't understand that. Why would I have to take the whole sidewalk up? And some grind theirs down and had it done free from the city. But she told me that I couldn't. So I would like to know that. And I know measurements. Mine's just 1/4 of an inch.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Remember, we're speaking in favor.
I'm in favor.
My name is Pauline Lawrence. I live at 3486 Linger Lane. I have the worst sidewalk on that street, and I'm aware of that. The same area that is raised now was the same two that were done before, when they had sidewalks done before. And it started to raise not very long after they were put down, and that's because of the roots of the trees. So now, when this is done again, it should be done so that the roots are cut so that I won't have to go through this again, because the same roots that had it raised before have raised it up, and it is terrible right now. So whoever is going to do this, I talked to the lady that came by. I was out there when she came by, and we talked about that. So I would like for whoever you all are going to get to do this, I'm not going to get anybody to do it, I want it done by your contractor, so that I can make a note of it, because if those same 2 blocks of cement is raised again, see, I'm paying again because of the time that they put it in before. The same 2 that they put in before are raised now even more so. So if they just go and chop something down and place it there, these same roots are going to raise it up again, and I'll have to do the same thing again. So I'm all for getting it done.
Okay.
We're getting it done right this time.
I agree.
I have a rental unit on Bernice, and they marked 3 slabs.
Your name, please? Name and
It's
address.
Frida Hewitt.
Okay.
And the one slab on the farther end of the sidewalk is only maybe half an inch or so. And I don't see why we have to spend a lot of money changing the whole slab when it can be ground like this other gentleman said. And I talked to a guy and said, I ground some from Saginaw Township, I'll go and ground it for you. So he went and ground them, and so I called Mrs. Evans. The other 2, I can see her point, it's a little bit higher, but this is a tree problem. Again, it's the same as this lady is saying, the roots of that tree has raised them. I didn't plant the tree, that's the city's tree or whatever. Anyway.
Okay, hold on 1 second, sorry. We have to be quiet, so I have a hard time hearing, so please, let's keep attention. Thank you.
So anyway, I have it ground. It's not perfect, but I think it's safe, because safety is our main concern. And that has been like that for the last 10 years or so that I've owned the property, and nobody walks there hardly. It's rental area. Nobody has fallen, but I'm not saying that nobody will. So anyway, it's been ground, and I think it's safe, and I don't see any reason spending a big amount of money fixing it according to your rules. But if you have a plan that's reasonable, I'm for a safe sidewalk, but I also want to see the practicality of spending money. And so the one part on the farther end, I don't think a little grounding would be perfect. The other 2 by the tree perhaps should be addressed. But like the lady said, if that tree's still there, it's gonna do it again. And I'm all for cutting those trees, they're dirty. It plugs the sewer. People has a hard time cleaning their yards because of those trees. Nobody trims them. In fact, I trim some of them myself. It cost me a lot of money. So that's where I'm coming from, those trees. Some of them has to go. They're overgrown and dirty.
Thank you. All right, do we want to move on to against now? Okay. Hold on one second.
Wait, just a minute.
You want to go against, or are we in favor?
I'm in favor whenever I find out what I'm in favor of.
No, sir, I'm not trying to be funny or catty. My name is Sharon Ann Street Berkeley. I have lived over on Larry Tim Drive for the last 35 years. I was here when they put those streets in and they put some of my sidewalks in. My question to you, which is only one, if the answer is right. Myself and the neighbor, we never had anything marked. All I got was a letter. What do I do? Nothing was marked.
That's good. That's a good thing?
No, because
I'm sorry, hold on one second, please. We have a lot of conversations going on, and we have to control this meeting.
Right there.
okay, so what I said is when I went out for inspections, I wasn't allowed to mark anything.
Pick the mic up.
So when I went out and did inspections, I wasn't allowed to mark it, but as people are calling, if you're leaving your name and number, I'm getting back with you. If you're just asking for me to come out and marking them, I'm just coming out and marking them with a pink dot. But if you did not call me and ask me to mark them, I did not come out to your house.
Okay, I did not call, but nowhere in the letter.
Hold on. Not everybody at one time, please. Let this young lady finish right here, please.
I did not call because nowhere in the first letter I received told me to call you. I did come out twice to find out where they said it was over there by the fire department looking for someone. They were closed both times. So I did call once. I was never able to get anybody because I didn't know. I was just trying to find out, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't have anything marked. When two doors down, they have markings. Myself and the neighbor next to me have no markings, so both of us is in confusion. Well, maybe they just send out random letters to everybody.
No, at the back of the letter, it gives my email address, and I've received emails also, my phone number.
Okay, I'm a computer illiterate, I'm sorry.
Right, but I gave you my phone number, my
okay.
extension on there, and a lot of times in the afternoon was when I was going out and meeting
Okay,
people.
because I
So if you
did
were
call.
trying in the afternoon, I was most likely out.
I did call and I came to that office twice. That's where they told me to go.
All right.
And that's all I could do.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're fine. Just bring it up. You're fine.
Hello, thank you. I'm Mary McDonald, and I live at 3395 Southfield Drive. And I, too, am in favor of safe sidewalks. We need to keep our areas safe and clean. However, I do have a problem when I'm trying to reach someone at the township and that person is never available. I reach the two people downstairs who work where you pay the bills, very nice, two nice ladies down there, and I called several times to Miss Ruth Ann's office, nothing. I came numerous times to this location and wasn't able to see her. I understand that she has to be out inspecting or whatever, but with all this money for these sidewalks and the taxes that are always paid on time, I just don't understand why I can't speak with a person when I contact someone at the township offices. And I received this violation. I'm not an expert in concrete and all this stuff, and I didn't have a clue what it meant. In the first place, I was out of town, came home, a week or more has passed, and there is a deadline of July 24th looming. Okay, I'm trying to comply, so okay, I start to get estimates. $700 and up, and 2 weeks to go? No way. That should not be expected of it should not be expected of our citizens that we would put a hardship on residents and have them try and meet a July 24th deadline that might have been in the mail, like mine was, unheard of. And then, like I said, to call and try and get clarification, because nothing was marked until I finally got in touch with Miss Ruth Ann, came home and had some pretty pink dots on 4 sidewalks, which I thought was going to be 2. And the reason I thought it was 2 was because there are 2 yellow highlights on this paper, and so I'm thinking 2 sidewalks, 2 violations, and I'm told, no, read a little further. Well, when I read a little further, it says something about 10 lifted, settled, 25 to 27 pitted. Hello. I don't have a clue. Okay, nor do I have a clue about, well, I went outside and I go, okay, vertical cracks, upheaval or settlement greater than ½ inch. That means something is raised up and it's higher than ½ inch. So maybe I can deal with that. But then spalled or pitted greater than 25% of the surface or depressions that are greater than 3 inches in diameter. I need help, and I'd like to know, please, if I can have 6 months to have this done. 3 weeks, 4 weeks is, I think, just totally irrational to expect that all of us will have this done by July 24th. There are reasons that I believe extension should be granted, and I would also like to know, I said, when is the last time this was done? And I was told 1995. I said, well, what has precipitated these violations and somebody coming in to do all this? And of course I was told township's not going to get any of this money. I go, then help your residents out if you're not getting any of it. You're fattening the pockets of contractors, which is fine, somebody's got to do the work, but at least give us an adequate amount of time to get it done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, you're good. You're good. All right, did she speak on behalf of most of you here?
Yes.
Okay.
I have one question.
All right, come on. Come.
Yeah. I'm kind of like this other lady.
Come on.
My name is Tim Cross, city of 3406 Sun Valley Drive.
One more time.
Tim Cross, 3406 Sun Valley Drive.
Thank you, sir.
The problem with my sidewalk is trees that I didn't plant. I get this letter, I call a contractor, he said it's gonna be at least $700 to take the trees out. I just went and got a permit from the county to cut the trees down. Then I gotta worry about the concrete work. And I'm saying, just the other day, and it's a little bit off
the
topic. I'm driving down the street through better than a foot of water, but I don't see nobody moving on fixing my street. That looks like a moot point, but you finna send a contractor out or whatever, or cause me to have to spend this money to fix this sidewalk. All I did was move in.
I understand.
You know, I don't have that kind of money just laying around. You say, here, 24th, fix this. I'm like her, that seems awful sudden.
Okay. All right.
I'm Marty Adrian. I live at 2861 Diamond Street. And I need a couple questions answered before I can really, contemplate all the things that people have said here. I have some specific kind of problems that are now I fall, like it's not trees, but it's a lot of other things I could go into. However, I wanted to know the history of the 1989 law that was quoted in the letters that was sent to us, and I would like to know the history of the township, where the funding came before the 1989 laws, which made individual residents responsible. Was it a general appropriation before that? And I'd like to raise that issue because I think many of us are in the same position that the gentleman who spoke just came up here, to get a letter that this has to be done in a month. And I didn't even get any estimates. I was out of town, and I have many of the same problems as other people. I have extensive work to be done, and I do not have that funding. So I want to know the history of the law, why this isn't a general appropriation from the township to do the work, because some of the places have that kind of thing. My cousin in Midland, they just simply come out and fix the walks or do whatever. I want to know why it's an individual liability, and obviously I'm objecting to that. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there's a young lady standing up, want to come right in front of you guys. Sorry. I don't want her to get mad at me for letting talk.
Hi, I'm Nancy Topham. Legally, you have me down as Nancy Solomon, so for the record, I don't know what you need. I received my violation, and it took me from the 25th of June till the 22nd of July to find out exactly what I had to fix. The day I received it was the 25th of June. The next day I called the contractor. He came out and told me that I didn't need to have anything fixed. I have pictures if you'd like to see them.
You can leave this here, please.
Okay. And so I talked to Ruth Ann. She's been out to my house. Ron Wheatley's been out to my house. And in my violation, there was 2 areas marked. Now I have 3 areas marked, and one of them isn't one of the first 2. And all of them that need to be repaired because they're lifted are next to tiles that were replaced by the township 7 years ago when they did work on my road. So my question is, if I repair these, is that going to be like a domino effect down the sidewalk? Or should I have you guys come and repair the tiles that you put in that causes it to be uneven with the stuff that's been there for 50 years?
Good point. Need the pictures, please.
What's your address?
3325 Dixie Court.
Yes, sir.
I'm Richard Jackson, 2915 Briarwood, and I have the same problem with the little pivots. My sidewalks are not cracked. I had them redone the last time when it was. Now they got those little pivots in there, and I can't see replacing those sidewalks. It's not enough for no one to fall or nothing. So I figure it should something have to be done. You know, if the township pitch in and do half of it, come on with it. I'll take care of it. But I can't see myself replacing them for those little pivots. It's not uneven or nothing. But it's, you know, the inspector came out and looked at them, and he said, you know, it's like over 25%, I think, of the sidewalk with the little pivots in, you have to replace them. But you can push a wheelchair or anything over them, you're not gonna fall.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Mike Brown. Address is 3254 Williamson Road, and we have been there since June of 1979. I have like 4 points real quick. Number one, we just had the worst winter that we've had in 100 years. And I think that deserves a little bit of consideration of what we're doing. Number two, I'm all for safe sidewalks. I don't really have a problem with that, but I think part of the point that we're missing and where you guys may not be appeasing the public in the right way is in what are the real good alternatives to solve this issue. And I'm going to come back to that one, but before I hit that, I want to say this. There is a question that I think has not been answered, and the question is, whose sidewalks are they anyway? I live on Williamson, which is a county road, and a county road is 66 feet of right-of-way. Normally, your sidewalk and your property begins on the grass side of that road. And if that's the case, Those sidewalks aren't mine. Those sidewalks are yours. Now, what you do in a subdivision or someplace else, I don't know. But on a public road, I would ask the board to consider whether or not those sidewalks are truly the responsibility of individuals, individual property owners, or if they are your responsibility, and maybe we need to help you. And then maybe you can ask us how we can help you. Lastly, or next, whichever, I went to Lowe's, and you can get some Quick Creek compound. I think probably most of the folks here have a deviation or violation that is within a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch, which is no big deal. And for $7.87, I can buy a gallon of compound. I can fix my sidewalks every year for the next 30 years. Versus to have people think that they have to spend $700 to $800 to replace a slab of concrete. I think what you're hearing from most people is that that is relatively unfair. So having said that, I would ask you guys to reconsider your ordinance, your laws, and your method of replacement and rehab for this particular project.
Good points.
Anybody else want to talk?
Stephen will have to hear that.
I'm letting this go for a while, so.
I'm Eddie Bias. I live at 3513 Creekwood Drive. I'm in favor of safe sidewalks. I only have a few questions. I was out of town last week, and when I left, I had 3 dots on the sidewalks, 3 sections. When I came back, I only had 2. Excuse me, I only had 1, because 2 sections of sidewalk have been removed. The ground dug up, and there's sand all down the street from where the excavation was. My question is, what happens next?
Where does the cement go to?
Could be some roads that they're doing work on.
My name is Nanny Coverson. I live at 3321 Southfield Drive. Like the lady before, I did try to contact Ms. Booth, and I think I contacted her because of my work schedule. I contacted her the first week of July, which was my vacation week. Found out she was on vacation then too. So left her. I didn't leave a voicemail. I believe in talking to people in person. So I didn't get. I found out she was going back to work the same week I was going, but because of my work schedule, it's hard to break arrangement. So I got a letter saying this, so I said, well, since I'm coming here, I didn't contact her. But anyway, there's nothing at my sidewalk that is marked. My neighbor and I walked my sidewalk, and he came up with something about that saying, if your heel get caught in the sidewalk, then maybe you should repair it. And that was a lot of that area wasn't my area anyway. But my thing is, I just want to go on record that, hey, I don't even understand a lot of the stuff you saw in the paper like previous people before me have said, because we want to repair stuff, but what do we repair?
Understand.
I'm Denise Bartlett. I live at 6737 Blackmar Road. We have a few properties in the township apartment buildings that we've gotten those letters of violation on. I guess my question is, a couple of the adjacent properties are actually owned by the township, and those sidewalks are worse than ours. How can you send me a letter to tell me to fix mine when the township sidewalks haven't been fixed yet? I don't think that's right.
When I first got this letter, I made many efforts to contact the township. And later I found out that Ms. Ruth was on vacation. And then I came down and talked to a gentleman, and I don't like the way that he spoke to me and told me that some people procrastinate, which I had not been doing. I had been looking for a way to resolve this issue that you all had written us about. And I have talked to various contractors, and the one that I am considering using, he says that the entire sidewalk or the entire square does not need to be taken out, that it can be fixed without that. And I think that people should have the option, if they can find a more cost-effective way to do something, that they be allowed to do it. Their consideration should be given to that. And I, like many others, feel also that people who live in this community should have access to someone. If Ms. Ruth has to be out, that there be someone available that they can talk to, and someone that has the ability to answer the questions that the people in the community need answers to. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name's Randy Bartlett. My wife is just up here. We do have several properties in the township here, and I think one of the solutions for the township is we have properties in Saginaw Township, and when our renters don't cut the lawn, they send us a picture of the lawn, and within 10 days it's got to be cut or they'll charge us. So we contact the renter and send them a copy and tell them it needs to be done. But my point is, at least we know what the issue is. And I think it would be a lot better, because I'm a contractor, and I looked at every one of our notices, and then I walked the properties. The problem I have is, okay, is this bad compared to what the township's saying or not? I don't know. It could be, could not be. The thing is if we had pictures of them and said this is a spot, you need to repair it, the township would have records of it, we would know what the problem is, and we could take care of it. I think that would be a good solution. And like I said, I'm a contractor, but I don't do concrete work. So if anybody wants me, but I do have a guy that will do concrete work. He has been out to some of our properties and done some work.
Okay.
So, and this company actually jacks up concrete. So if there's a problem with 2 inches too high, he can lift the other one.
Right.
You know, instead of
Replacement.
grinding 2 inches or tearing it out.
That is correct. Thank you, sir. All right. Can we move on? All right, let's move on. Public hearing is now closed. No. One by schedule. Bear with us. We'll do this quick, then we'll get to this section, okay? All right, public comments. Any public comments?
Good evening. I'm Cheryl Hadsall, County Commissioner, District 7. One of the reasons I wanted to come here tonight is I wanted to personally, and in this group, congratulate Vanessa on her great accomplishment last night. What a wonderful thing for Bridgeport and the people of Bridgeport that we will have a voice in Lansing. Congratulations, Vanessa. And I publicly want to say this, I was one of the people that told her not to do it. I said, you know, you need to serve the people of Bridgeport, you just got on that board, and I'm here to say I was wrong, and I'm very proud of you. So I'm glad that we're going to have a friendly voice in Lansing. This couple other things I wanted to bring you up to date on in the county is last time I was here, I told you about the 4 ballot proposals, and I'm here to say that they all passed last night. Most of them with over a 60% majority, which was really kind of shocking to me, but all 4 proposals passed. So I think that tells us what the people are looking for. They're looking for specific things that they're interested in, and even Albee which I'm going to next tonight, they passed their road millage, which was very interesting. They only did it by a few votes. So I want to apologize. I am going to have to leave this meeting early. I've never seen so many people here before. It was very interesting for me to see this and hear this, but I did book another meeting because you guys are usually really fast. The other thing I wanted to report to you on is I just came from the county. I just came from our County Services Committee meeting, and some of you are aware of some of the things that have been in the paper. If you watch Channel 5 or Channel 12 tonight, you will see what happened today at the courthouse. Just a little preview. Bridgeport and Birch Run merged their chambers and CVBs last October. We're very happy about that. And Birch Run and Bridgeport is now going to the county and asking for more of our tax dollars to come back to this area. As you all know, all of our hotels charge 6% room tax. It all goes to the county of Saginaw. We get a very small proportion back here. And we went before the county board today to ask for more. It's not a committee that I serve on, but I went and spoke in favor of the people of Bridgeport and Birch Run. We did not have the votes on that committee. In order to get it to our full session, we have to get it out of the committee. And it did not get out of the committee, but it didn't get voted down. So I'm going to say that we had a victory today. The only thing that we had missing is we needed a strong voice from Bridgeport. And I know that you guys were here getting ready for your meeting, but they didn't vote it down. They voted to send it to the next meeting. So we will be meeting again with County Services on September 3rd. And we definitely need the business people and you people there from Bridgeport to join us in this endeavor. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get more tax dollars so that we can advertise more and get more tourism and more traffic to Birch Run and Bridgeport. It's the right thing to do. It really is. So you'll be hearing a lot about it. You'll see it on the news tonight. You'll see it in the paper. And I want you to know how much I support this community and how much I support Birch Run. And the fight is on, believe me. Again, I apologize, I always stay for your meeting, but I got to get somewhere in like a few minutes. So I did enjoy hearing all of your issues though tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? I'll take them now.
He should have been there.
You're good?
Thanks.
Thank you. Any more public comments? Any more public comments? One more time for public comments. Okay, public comments are now closed. We're going to move on to committee reports. We have one, Buildings and Ground. I'm just going to read this. Buildings and Ground meeting minutes. Everyone has the minutes in the packet. The meeting was discussed the fire department public safety assessment with a recommendation from the board. The recommendation from the Buildings and Ground Board to pursue with a public safety assessment for the renovation to our existing fire station. Okay, with that, I'm going to move on to D, unfinished business, which I don't see any, so we'll go on to E, new business. New business, and that is, the first one on there is Parks and Recreation report. I think Bill's coming up for a report.
I didn't realize there were going to be so many people here. But,
come to hear you?
Yes, thank you. Augie asked me to give a report to the board tonight. On July 24th, I completed 1 year service here with the Township as Parks and Rec Director. I do believe...
Excuse me, slow down one second. All right, go ahead now.
All right, I'm sorry. All of you should have gotten a report in your packets. I'm just going to go through and highlight some of the things that I've accomplished, or that the department has accomplished.
Thank you.
Over the last year.
Thank you.
Some of the major projects that we're able to accomplish in the last year, Liberty Park, we renovated Dreamfields, actually renovated all 5 baseball diamonds, and they've really come out really nice. We installed the outfield fence in Diamond 8 to give us 3 really nice softball diamonds. I've been working in the Bicentennial Hall, I and my staff, and doing some things in there, getting out some of the old clutter, and we're actually successful in getting that reopened as a concession stand and used that throughout the fall season. Back here in Davis Park, we were able to resurface the floors in the restrooms, and also clear away a lot of the overgrowth of trees. And the other section, the Anderson complex, we went to renting that out to folks for purpose of birthday parties, graduation parties, and we were successful in renting that out twice so far, and had very good success with that. We're pursuing putting in canoe and kayak launches on the Cass River. We're part of the Cass River Greenway Association, which is an association that spans from Bridgeport all the way to Cass City. And they are all about the Cass River and activities on the Cass River. Franklin's in there, Vassar's in there. We actually just had a meeting today with them out in Vassar. And we put in for a DNR Trust Fund grant to get the monies for these launches. We're in pursuit of other grants to get the matching money. I've already received a $20,000 grant from the Saginaw Bay Watershed Initiative Network, so I'm about 25% of the way there. So going to keep working on that. We've worked collaboratively with other areas in the surrounding area. The Bridge Fest Committee, we put on a Bridge Fest softball tournament that saw 13 teams come over Bridge Fest weekend, trying to draw more people into the community, take part in the festival activities and so forth. So 13 teams were participated in that this year. We are heavily involved with the Bridgeport Bandit Sports Association. I serve as the treasurer on that association. Bridgeport Spalding Community Schools, we work with them with youth basketball and other projects. Franklin Parks and Rec, Bertrand Parents for Youth, Carlton Parks and Recreation, Spalding Township Parks and Rec, the Great Lakes Bay Miracle League, which takes place at the Anderson Complex. We kind of run that league for kids with disabilities to play baseball. And First Baptist Church is another group that I've been working with over the last year. We have several people that have made donations and sponsorships to the Parks and Rec department. Iowa Tool Supply sponsored a youth baseball team this year. Myers of Bertrand sponsored 2 teams. McDonald's of Bridgeport, Spicer Group, Covenant Healthcare, Green Acres Golf Course, and Spence Brothers all contributed to the department this year due to solicitation by the department for those sponsorships. Also, in there I want to include the department has been awarded and pursued 2 grants through it's called the Let's Play grant, presented by Dr. Pepper and Snapple. In that, we were successful last fall in getting a grant for $1,565.90 worth of equipment. I just received notification last week on getting $4,394.78 worth of equipment for this year. So that's a grant that I can apply every 6 months for, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I work with a guy out in Massachusetts on that. He's really cool.
Good.
Some of the new programming that I've brought in, or that the department has brought in, men's and women's adult softball league. We had 4 teams in the women's league, 3 teams in the men's league. They played, the women played on Friday nights, the men played on Sundays. That was a great success. Team McDonald's captured the championship for the women, and the men, they really didn't have team names. They were just a bunch of guys that wanted to play, so they came out and played. I mentioned the Bridge Fest softball tournament. Baseball and softball this year saw the program grow by nearly 50%. Last year we had 85 participants in baseball and softball, and this year I had approximately 150 children that participated. We collaborated with Bertrand, Spalding, Franklin, Carlton, Millington, and Montrose. We also hosted the end of the year tournaments for 10U and 12U teams. And this year was the first year in a few years that we've actually had girls recreation softball at a 10 and under team and a 13 and under team. So I brought back the return of the Hardball Classic Baseball Tournament, which saw 18 teams from all over the state come in. The furthest team coming away, and I couldn't believe it, it was a 10 and under team. They came all the way from Ida, Michigan. Ida is south of Dundee to play in our tournament. It was a great day, great weekend. Weather was awesome. I think on Saturday, I think the park probably had about 1,000 people in it. There was wall-to-wall people
That's
everywhere.
awesome.
And got a lot of good comments about the fields and the facility and how well they were maintained. In the future, coming up this fall, we'll have flag football for first grade through, actually I bumped it up to 5th grade, so I'm going to be first through 5th grade flag football this year. I'm looking into possibly doing a kickball tournament this fall as well. And then come winter, we'll have youth basketball and youth wrestling also. So it's been a joy this first year. And running the Parks and Rec department has been definitely a learning experience. I've learned a lot, and we're just going to continue to grow and build.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you're doing. All right, let's move on down to number 2, Townline Road Project.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Townline Road project between Blackmar and I-75 for the partially funded MDEQ scrap tire grant not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? Go ahead.
I know that our packet said that there was difficulties, but that road project was funded last year and supposed to be completed last year for a certain dollar amount. I understand where there's troubles and bad winters and this and that. I just wondered, they've asked for more money to finish this year. It was a project that was supposed to be finished last year. I was just wondering if anybody could tell me about that.
Rose, you have anything on that?
I do. It was a project that started last year, and we're gonna complete it this year. With the winter that we had, and several people had mentioned that out in the audience, as the frost came out of the ground, the chip and seal project that was done very late in the year, so the road started to crumple in different areas. The Saginaw County Road Commission recommended in that situation, because of the road crumbling, instead of going back and doing chip and seal again and trying to repair what they had, they felt it was best to take care of the situation with a tire grant. The county was willing to offer that grant to us. We split the cost with Township. We have allocation dollars that Saginaw County Road Commission is also sharing some of that cost, but we have a cost up to $50,000. Right now, I believe it's around $44,000, but they said be safe. And they're asking that we go that route, which will cost us more money. It'd be a more durable road, and they are leaning toward doing more roads with tire grants in the future, as opposed to the chip and seal. So that's where we're at tonight, asking for approval to approve the extra money that we'll spend on that road in order to do what the Saginaw County Road Commission is recommending to do it right.
You explained it perfectly, that we're gonna make it better.
Yep. All right. Olive, go ahead.
So the total amount was well over 200,000, correct?
If I remember correctly, it was like $195,000 split between us and Taylor Township.
Yes,
Then with our
correct.
allocation, I want to say approximately $65,000 was going to be our cost. I believe we were billed out, I believe it was around $37,000. I believe we still owed 20-something thousand on that project. And they did not bill us for that at this time. I haven't seen it. If that bill was to come due, of course, I would question it. The initial job, I'm just looking at the cost here. Give me just 1 second to review this.
You're okay.
With the tire grant, yeah, I said about $44,000, it'd be about $43,307 is what they're anticipating. The original cost, the project was $195,734. We paid out $36,735 on that with a balance of $26,000. So kind of just going back on what I was trying to recall. So overall, when we paid the additional monies but not completely paying for the original job that they started, we are going to look at an approximate $25,000 additional over and beyond what we would have approved last year to do the tire grant.
Answer the questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any diff? Okay.
Motion is carried.
All right, we'll move on to Number 3 now. Number 3 is sidewalk repairs. And all of you citizens have come out and made your points, and I hear that, and I understand where you're coming from. Now, how do we move on? How do we fix this? How do we be fair? We can extend it for a month or two, okay? But I'm going to be way out of line here, so I'm going to probably get in trouble. I wish all of you was in this seat right now. We cannot discuss no more. You already had your chance. So we're going to have a little talk right here amongst us, this board. I know Augie probably will not do this, but I'll get the wrath after. We need to work with the citizens. We also need to be safe. We also need to have our township safe. We've made changes ourselves in sidewalks, the township has. We are fixing our sidewalks as we speak. If you notice, the front of our sidewalks have been all repaired, and we're addressing our own issues. So I don't want you to think that we aren't fixing our issues, because we are too. And the sad thing is, and you're all right, we can't get it done that quick. We ourselves have known that. We've asked for bids, and we can't get bids in fast enough to get repairs. So, Ruth Ann, I'm going to put you on the spot. Come on up to the mic and let's talk. Just relax. Nobody's going to get, we're here to talk.
Okay.
We're halfway through this, and these gentlemen and ladies have been sitting right through this, so let's keep it going, the direction we're going. All right, how can we fix, how can we work with everybody to make this thing flow? I know we can extend it. I don't have a problem doing that, and I'm sure this board doesn't have a problem extending it. We can come up with ways that we can get it fixed, okay? Pay it over 5 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
All right? We can work with that. But we all need to try to come up with somewhere that, I don't want it's awesome to see everybody here. Okay? I wish we'd see this many people all the time. This is good. We need input. And I don't want us to walk away saying that, you know, every one of you that here are very important to us. Right? That's why we're doing what we're trying to do to help Bridgeport. All right? To look the way it's going. I'm sure you all notice that. We want to do this. So let's discuss this. What can we do? And I know we can go a 5-year plan, work over and how we can work it out. Can we look at some of these sidewalks that they're saying, reevaluate them?
We can. I mean, if they have, most of the time I've been asked to come and mark, and I just go out there and mark. I can set up appointments where I go out there and meet with them. That might work. And then if they have questions, and there's been sometimes that on their sheet, if it's, because of the way I inspected and stuff, I didn't really have measuring tools or anything like that. So I was going by my vision, just eyeballing it up and saying, these are the bad sidewalks, and that's what I did on their inspection sheet.
Okay. Let me interrupt 1 second. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt. I have to apologize to our township managers. We don't micromanage, and I just didn't ask permission to have you come up here. I apologize.
As she was walking up, I said I would help her
Okay.
with some of these questions.
So,
she's not going to be able to answer some of these.
Jump in. We aren't here to micromanage, okay? We're trying to see what we can together to accomplish what we need to do. Okay. So we can reevaluate, we can look at, work together.
Yes, and there's been, you know, a few that I've gone out there and we can grind some. We have a certain level we can grind, and there's a lot of fixes that, you know, if it's upheaval, yes, you know, the trees are an issue. They're actually the county's trees or the property owner's trees. And what, I did call the county for a few residents that had questions, could the tree be taken down? They don't have the funds to take the trees down. Unfortunately, that leaves it up to the property owner. And some of those squares, like the, I can't remember her name, but the lady on Linger, the one that has the worst sidewalks, and she does, is that those squares are still good. They can actually be flipped off the tree, roots being ground down, and those squares can go back.
Okay.
A lot of people are doing repairs, but then there's some people that are grinding that when you have an upheaval, generally it's more like maybe an inch to 2 inches up, and you cannot grind that down. If you do, you have to make sure it's on a good slope. And it's not just the corner that's sticking up, and that's what I'm having to deny people is, you know, I go out there to inspect it and I'll say, no, it's not good, because they're just grinding out that edge thinking that's gonna help, and it doesn't meet the standards. But if they would like to lift it, like somebody said, you could lift sidewalks
And they have to do that.
and put them down, that would be great. And there's all kinds of
All right.
options.
Now, with her saying that, we can make a motion here to extend this for another 30 days. Okay? Bring it to another meeting. All right? But at the same time, I think what we need to do is have her come out, work with us at our properties, take a look, what can we do? Are they really that bad that we need to replace them? Or can we walk through? I understand the bad weather. I do understand that. The bad weather, the hard winters, etc. But I think we should be able to get with people, reevaluate the sidewalks, and see what we can do to work it over. And if we work it out, maybe we take bids, and we can have it done and tax you over 5 years. If it's $500, it's $100 a year. I mean, we can try to work things out like that. Is that fair?
Yeah, but
It's not fair?
it's a fundamental
Okay,
question.
so do you want to just let it go?
Which is why the law was passed in 1989.
Okay, do you want us to read that?
Take the trees out.
No, I don't want you to read me the law that you quoted already. I want to know why that was passed and why it is not a
Okay,
general
do we have that?
appropriation issue instead of an
1 second.
individual liability.
Do we have that with us?
I do.
Okay.
And I can read this as a statute of the law. I wasn't working here at the time when this was put in place. I can't answer when the ordinance was adopted or when this law was put in place and what all transpired. All I can answer is what we have today.
No, I know, and that's unhelpful because that was quoted in the letter. And
Yes.
I'm objecting to this on its face, that you make individual citizens liable and responsible for repairs is the Tea Party would have a riot of this issue.
You're making us responsible for what's within the public right of way.
That's right.
Basic question is, whose sidewalks are they anyway?
And for the county to say they don't have the money is too bad, I can say the same thing. And you do not accept that answer from me. But what it would cost to repair my sidewalks according to Hoyle, what you want done, is more than I have a monthly income to pay. And I am looking for food. And maybe some of the other people in here are in my situation. I really, at that point, will put a toll booth out. And anybody who wants to use my sidewalk will pay. Now, that's how nasty it's gotten. And Proposition A did a lot, and I think this may be the response of this ordinance to Proposition A, no more general tax levies, blah, blah, blah. I'm old enough, I lived through that. But I don't want to be liable for people who are coming on my sidewalk. If it's mine, it's not mine. I agree with this gentleman. It's within the right of way, and not only that, part of what was objectionable is a county problem and a township problem owing to water running down the street. There is no catch basin. Catch that water, it comes down my driveway and onto my sidewalks. And that has done a lot of damage.
Okay.
So I could go on and on.
I understand, so can I, And I don't want to do that, I'm just trying to say, okay, what can we do to make it, we can't just let it
But
go.
you're trying to make it my problem. and
I'm not saying that, I'm not saying
You
that.
haven't answered our questions. Why is it our problem? And we have not gotten,
Say so.
you went back and you said, now, how can I make it easier for you to do? I don't want to do it.
Make the county.
Tear the damn sidewalk out and put
Ma'am,
it on somebody
ma'am,
else's.
okay, you're up, ma'am, your language, please. I'll shut it down. Right now, don't do that, okay? I'm trying to be kind here.
Then please answer
I'm
my
trying to be
question.
kind. Okay, there was another hand, I'll let you. I'm way out of line by allowing this go on,
I know what.
but I'm gonna get in trouble here.
You know how we can solve it? I mean, I hear, you at, what about, what we are talking about, fundings for these things? Can we ask for, what's the word I'm trying to use? Grants.
Ma'am, we asked for grants, that's the grant, you are not gonna get grants to help you out on that property. It's not.
Okay. Now, like the
One
gentleman
second.
said,
Okay, go ahead.
about about
Okay.
taking down the trees. I can't take down those two city trees because they have stopped 2 accidents. I'm right in the curve, and I've had 2 accidents where people have, if those trees weren't there, the curve would be in my yard.
I understand,
But they've stopped 2 accidents and they're pushing up the concrete.
I understand. Rose?
I just want to reference the sidewalks, and sometimes we may not totally agree with some of the laws or the ordinances that are out there. And I think all of us would agree that we totally understand where you're at, and it is a hardship. The sidewalks are the responsibility of the property owners to maintain them and to keep them safe. The township by law has to enforce the safety of the sidewalks. If someone gets hurt, there was a question raised if somebody was hurt on one of the sidewalks, and the answer is yes. We are entering into a lawsuit with somebody that had fallen and tripped on the sidewalk. So, we have the obligation to our community, to our taxpayers, to make sure that the sidewalks are safe. If we don't do it and somebody gets hurt, it's the taxpayers' money that is going toward the cost of the attorneys, going to court and settling that lawsuit. So by law, we have an obligation to our community and our taxpayers to enforce that the sidewalks are taken care of. They are the responsibility of the property owner, that is the law. As far as the Saginaw County Road Commission, Ruthana spoke with them, I've also spoke with them. Saginaw County Road Commission will not go out and take a tree down if there's nothing wrong with that tree, falls back on the property owner. We can ask that when we have a contractor, that the contractor and the residents work together. So if there are stumps or not stumps, roots coming out of the ground, creating an issue, that if the contractor is doing the work, that they work with the residents as far as letting the residents know a time frame on when they anticipate coming down through their section of property, so that the property owner can contact somebody to come and grind that tree stump, or the property owner can remove the tree. Obviously, you have to contact county road because it's in the road right away. But those options are out there, and unfortunately, it comes to a cost to the property owner. With that, in the statute, we can put it out for 5 years on an assessment on the tax roll. Nobody likes to hear that, because nobody wants the taxes to go up. But our hands are basically tied. Again, we owe that responsibility to the taxpayers. Even though you're in that situation, we owe the safety of our community. And we started the sidewalk project back up again. We haven't done it in years. We identified areas that needed to be done really bad in reference to Linger Lane 1 in the subdivision over there. Kids that travel sidewalks to get to the schools. We kind of isolated one area to start with. And this won't end. Next year we'll be doing the same thing, and every year after that, and we will continue with the sidewalk program to make sure that they are safe, and hope and pray that we don't get sued anymore from someone tripping on a sidewalk that's lifted.
So why did it get let go for years and years? Before the recession, when people were basically in a better position to pay for this. Now that a lot of us are probably and my neighbors having discussion.
I understand that. You know,
So
I think-
now, all of a sudden, the township decides that these sidewalks need repairing. Some of it is a county problem, that they're like this. I told you about the water running down my driveway, on my property. They will not fix that because they removed the drain a year, or more than a year ago, that a catch basin could have gone to. They didn't do that. They will not do that now. Why? You know, in just 2 more years, maybe it'll look like it did, and you will be telling me to get it repaired again. So, I apologize for my language. I am frustrated beyond, you know. You haven't answered that gentleman's question. You guys went to the legislature or whatever, to pass that ordinance. I know how laws are made. I worked in public policy, I worked for a congressman, I worked.
Okay, I'm gonna shut this down right now. Okay, we're gonna end it. Okay? All right. Let me ask you a question. If we bring in a contractor to look at all this, to help save these citizens money, would you guys work with us on that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we know it's our, you know, I know it's my problem, I don't, not saying nobody else knows it's their problem. If somebody falls on my sidewalk, my insurance gets sued, okay? I know that, even though it's your sidewalk, or if you wanna say it's your sidewalk. I think that the 5-year program would work out. I know it's hard, it's a stress on everybody. You know, I talked to Evan just the other day, or last week, I think it was. You know, I don't agree with all of it. I think someone's nitpicking on the sidewalk. But I'm there for public safety, and I agree with it, and I think we should do it.
All right, let's, go ahead. I'm gonna, 5 minutes, we're gonna close this, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
The idea of bringing a contractor with the homeowner and the inspector together to decide on which is the best route to fix the.
On that sidewalk.
Hold on 1 second.
The road right away is from the center of the road and 33 feet.
Does he have a total permit?
If you're within that road right away, you do need to pull a permit from the county.
That's
If
what
you're
I'm talking
not,
about. So we got to pull a permit to pull the concrete. If we got 3 blocks and I pull in the truck, I got to pull a permit and pay $40 or $36, whatever it is now. I got to pull a permit to pull that concrete that you have signed me.
that's,
Are we willing to work with them on that?
well, it's a county. It's-
Okay.
It's the right-of-way work permit.
Yeah,
There
then
has
our hands
nothing
are
to do
tied
with the
there.
township.
I'm sorry, but our hands are tied there. Okay, next
Well,
up,
then how
up
can we
front.
pull the, we can't fix this sidewalk if we don't know where we have to pull a permit, sir.
No, but if we come out and work with you and try to reevaluate what we're doing, listen, I'm saying us, the township here, this young lady, come and reevaluate what we're doing with the contractor. Or you might be able to fix it yourself, but we'll go over it with you too. What can we do? Yes, you will have to pull a permit. It will have, you'll have to pull a permit. If we do it, we have to pull a permit. We have to have that too. We can't just do it on ourselves.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them don't understand you have
Yeah.
to pull a permit to pull that concrete.
You absolutely do.
I know you have to pull one.
Okay. 1 second, Bob. Gentleman up front.
Just a question on the trees. If it's between the road and the sidewalk, it is the county's tree, right?
Yes.
So if the tree dies, it's the county's responsibility?
But they broke.
Cut the roots.
I was good. You hear what he said? You want to say it a little bit louder? Sorry to laugh.
It's the county's tree, and if they don't have roots, they die. Cut the roots.
All right, Ubaldo. Bart, 1 second. Go ahead, repeat that.
Yeah, on the empty lots where the sidewalks are bad, who's responsible for that?
Ruth Ann?
It depends on who the empty lot belongs to. If it's township, the township will take care of it. If it's private owners, they also received a letter.
That lot's been empty for years.
That's, actually, that's a land bank property, so Saginaw County owns that land, but we do have that on our list to repair. There's 2 squares on that property that we will be replacing at the township cost.
Okay. Sorry, there's a gentleman, yes.
Yeah,
There you go.
and seriously, I'm really trying to be helpful. My point is this.
Now,
If
wait.
you can fix it for $15, would you inspect it and leave us alone? I don't mean to be tough. I'm just saying, if I can get a compound, most people probably have cracks, deviations that are a ½ inch or less. If those people can repair theirs with a compound, can we just do it?
In fact, I sent out 285 letters, and out of the 285 letters, I actually inspected 44 that have done repairs, and in that, they have either, they did the grinding, which was approved, or else they did patchwork. And when they do patchwork, then I make sure that they're aware of it, that it might hold up now, but you have to keep on watching it. Because, repairs that you do with a patch, eventually, because of our winters, it's going to be lifted up. And like you said, yearly you would do it.
Come back in 2 years, and I still got the same container for $15. What's?
You can do it.
No, but it will be passed. It will be passed. Inspections, I've done inspections that they've only patched the cracks and stuff, and it's okay, but it's got to be a smooth surface. It has to be, you cannot take a lift and patch it. That doesn't work.
Okay.
So, like your address, I can come to your address and we can look at it if that's what you want to do.
No, I just said, if it's less than a half inch, and I fix it, I double it, I sand it, you come out and inspect it later, I'm just asking you beforehand, would that just fall through and get it done?
Yes.
Yes, sir, and if it's less than a ½ inch, you don't have to do anything.
Thank you. All right. Does that sound fair? I know nothing we're gonna do is gonna be, some of us is, I know it's not gonna be perfect. I feel it. I feel the pain, trust me. I have sidewalks there too. I feel the pain. So, all right.
So what I have planned to do is I have to pull all my inspection letters off their accounts, and then I will be starting to mark all the sidewalks. And I'll just be starting the way I inspected it to mark it.
It's gonna take some time.
It's gonna take some time.
I understand that.
And there's a lot, if you really go out and look at your sidewalk, there's a lot of them that you can really see what's wrong. if it's a lift over a ½ inch, that's something you need to fix, but I'm going to pull those inspection sheets and go and mark them.
All right. One more question.
Real quick.
Okay, no, we're all done. Sorry. We're at 2 more hands popping up. We're done. No more questions. All right, go ahead. I am too easy. I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh, he would never do it.
The violation that I got the letter for, I stay on Southfield, and for 4 lots from Briarwood heading north, is sidewalk. Then the section that I got the letter for, deads in at my lot line. There's 6 lots down, there's no sidewalk. So no one even uses that portion of the sidewalk. They go down the driveway.
I walk that.
The street. You walk that. No one comes down that section of sidewalk. But yet.
I understand. But trust me, I feel the pain. I really do. I feel your pain.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just had a question about my particular situation.
Go.
I seem to have underground piping that failed. Made a sinkhole right next to the sidewalk. The sidewalk caved in. That's the part that's gone now. They dug it up when I was out of town. I don't know what what happened, what you come up?
She can hit it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, after we talked, I got a hold of the county and got a hold of wastewater, and wastewater decided that they were going to see if the lead, your sewer lead, was sucking in the dirt, because that's what we suspected, is that dirt is being sucked out, and that's why your sidewalk is going like this.
Right.
When they were looking for that, they accidentally hit the water main. So the water main got hit, so that's why there's sand, and that's why you have the hole. I know wastewater has contacted a contractor to do the repairs for that sidewalk, but that's what happened. And I can't answer if they found something with that sewer lead. I just know that's why they were gonna come up to the door and try to contact you. I don't know if maybe you weren't home. Okay, but remember I told you that I would get a hold of them and we'd make something happen, and that's,
So what's going to happen?
They're replacing.
we're gonna repair, it's ours, we will take care of it.
See, you're a young man, you're fortunate. All right, one more.
I have a question for Dan. Are you going to be sending out additional letters when you go back and re-inspect, or we just have to assume that the pink dots on our property is what needs to be fixed?
I probably need to change a different color then. It won't be pink. Look, I mean, I can't tell you what color I can get my hands on, but just look for a different color, because there's, when you get called for misdig, you have to use certain colors. I can't use those colors. So I gotta see what's available, look for non-pink. Just look for non-pink, and they're dots. I mark them with dots.
And then, I know that you did this in sections.
Yes.
But a concern I have is neighbors that didn't have violations in their sidewalks are worse than mine. But also, are there plans to do the rest of the community in the near future?
Yeah.
Or is it every year you're gonna do a different section, or what?
It's annually, and I'm gonna be out there looking again. So maybe if they did get a letter, it could be, they should have. So, I mean, it would have been an error on my part, but I'm gonna be out there again, so. Yep.
Are you gonna be meeting with the citizens to, for them to meet you, or someone else coming out there to check it?
Reevaluate.
That's gonna be hard, because I mean, if I meet with, I have 241 people that I would have to meet with, and it's gonna take a while to inspect. I can say that, I'm gonna start coming out there on probably Monday, and if you see marks, all I can say is, give me a call. And maybe I can break it down once that, I get it done. Maybe I can break it down and say, okay, I'm going to be on Williamson at this time, for people to meet, because I don't know.
Yeah, can you make some kind of appointment to meet with you, each owner, in that property?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, we can't do that?
I'm trying to say, how can we do that?
Yeah, that's
How can we do
a
that?
lot
I
of
mean, we already
hours.
gotta know exactly what you expect us to do.
Yeah, you have to call us and let us know you'll be in my property, and I can be there.
I'm
But
telling you, that's why the pictures need to be taken.
Okay, all right. Okay,
And can I just say one more thing about?
all right, hold on one second. Go ahead, gentlemen.
I just wanted to get clarification on, who's liable. If you were talking about, there was a certain, from the middle of the street to the sidewalk, and the gentleman was asking about whose tree is it? If it's on the other side of the sidewalk, close to the street, I guess.
I can't answer that one. Is it I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. Is it the
If
tree?
if the roots of the tree that's in between the street and the sidewalk, that's the county tree?
If that tree is in between the road and the sidewalk, it's the county tree.
Okay, so, and then if the roots of that tree is causing,
You gotta take the roots off. I just shouldn't say that, I just said.
Are you saying that, are you saying we're supposed to take the roots up? That's
Yeah!
Yeah.
I said it. Don't put that in the paper.
Yeah, you have to grind it down, grind it.
Okay, I'm just trying.
All right, one more, I have one more point, then No, we got, no more. This stuff right here.
I think you really need to look at, Franklin's got a lot of bad sidewalks. It's a nice town, but they deal with them, but they still are not, the grade isn't properly done and all of that, but they work on them. They don't go through and tear them all out. I mean, I've seen some of them where the tree roots are pushed up, but they feather it out the
And they
best
can-
that they can because they don't want to ruin their tree.
And they can do that. I mean, homeowners can do that. I mean, you can buy a bigger grinder than what we have to do something like that. There's companies that will just grind it. I mean, as long as it's tapered, it gets approved.
But I think you guys maybe just need to look at some of those sidewalks over there.
I've already
You
walked
might-
out there and went all through that,
You
trust me
might not
myself.
be so picky, you know.
It's the ordinance.
All right. No more. No, we're done. Sorry, we'll be here all night. We have more to go. Thank you. All right, now, there's a motion. I need a motion. Now, we're gonna probably make a motion that there's gonna throw out a date. Now, please let me say this. This date's probably gonna throw out, you're all gonna start raising your hands. Don't raise your hands. We can change the date if we have to. Okay, so work with me on that. Okay? Number 3. That is the sidewalk repair. All right, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve extending the sidewalk repair project deadline from July 24th, 2014 to September 1st, 2014.
Now, hang on. I said, hold on. It's just a date. It's just a date. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Sorry, July 24th already passed. We'll work with it, okay? It's just a date. But we have a motion, there's a second, now it's discussion. If we just say that we're gonna go December, then we've got another winter coming. We don't wanna prolong this. We can't prolong it. So let's say a date, let's work towards that. If we gotta extend it, we'll extend it. We'll work with it. We aren't, come on. I think with all of us discussion and like we've been talking here tonight, is telling you that we're willing to work. Does it? Okay, let's work together. We can do this. So it's just a date, okay? All right, there's a motion, there's a second. Is there any more comments?
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Walter. Yes, sir.
The only discussion I'd like to have right now is out in the Southfield subdivision, there have been lots of sidewalks ground. We do have a machine where some of the sidewalks that are not level, they are half an inch or more higher, and they are using these machines, and if I'm not correct on this, Rose, correct me, there are some young men out there that's grinding those sidewalks down, and they are meeting the requirement that Ruth Ann has specified she needs. So that is being done. And if we continue to keep that going, a lot of those are gonna meet our requirement very soon. Matter of fact, they're doing it daily. So with September 1st being a date, that is a date I think is reasonable if we can continue, if the weather holds. But there are some like Mr. Cross and the lady, I can't think of her name right now. Pauline Lawrence.
You tell him. He's got a name.
No, I know. I'm saying, those are problems that we won't be able to repair with a grinder. So we're gonna have to look at those different. And Ruth Ann will probably be able to help, with those two problems. Those two problems I know will need some special attention.
All right. With that?
I just have a quick thing.
Sure.
Kind of just reiterate what you said. So it sounds like the September 1st isn't really a hard deadline, it's just a goal that we have.
Right.
Obviously, we don't want this to pass into next year by any means, but
It won't.
no one's gonna be penalized if it's not exactly by September first.
No. We're going to work this out, but we all have to cooperate to make it all happen, okay? All right, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any difference? Okay,
That motion is carried.
all right. Thank you very much. Wow. Okay, now if the chair gets back and says this meeting was out of control, I'm gonna need your help to help me. Okay, let's move on to number 4. Bids on the 2000 Chevrolet Malibu.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the sale of the 2000 Chevrolet Malibu to Jeffrey Gardner, the highest bidder, in the amount of $2,801. If for any reason Mr. Gardner backs out of the sale, then we will approve the sale to the second highest bidder, which is Susan Schluckbeer, in the amount of $2,522.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Any diff? All right,
Motion is carried.
all right, let's move on to number 5.
I move that we approve the following ballot language. Proportion of police protection in November. Language. Oh. Proposition of police protection in November 4th, 2014 election.
Can you read that, please?
Now, I need to read that.
You want to read it? Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, she'll read it first.
This police protection proposition shall the entire unincorporated portion of Bridgeport Charter Township, Saginaw County, Michigan, be created into a special assessment district under the 1951 PA 33 as amended in order to raise money by special assessment for defraying costs of the police protection equipment, buildings, and for the operation of the same. And shall Bridgeport Charter Township be permitted to raise money by the special assessment for the purpose of, for police purposes in the total amount of $158,444.98, not to exceed the amount of $37.80 per tax parcel with one or more structures and no assessments per vacant land parcels for a period of 5 years. And then it has a yes or no. That's just the ballot language.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, there's a second, and we're going to have a roll call on this one.
Sure. Secord?
Yes.
Miller, yes. Wilson?
Yes.
LaShore?
Yes.
Thayer?
Yes.
Gara?
Yes.
Townsend is absent. That motion is carried.
All right, move on to number 6. Ballot language proposal for public safety fire.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the following ballot language proposition for fire protection in the November 4th, 2014 election as recommended by the Buildings and Grounds Committee.
Would you read the,
Fire protection proposition. Shall the entire unincorporated portion of Bridgeport Charter Township, Saginaw County, Michigan, be created into a special assessment district under 1951 PA 33 as amended in order to raise money by special assessment for defraying costs of fire protection equipment, and buildings, and for the operation of the same. And shall Bridgeport Charter Township be permitted to raise money by special assessment for fire protection purposes in a total annual amount of $190,125, not to exceed $45 per tax parcel with one or more structures and no assessment per vacant tax parcel for a period of 10 years.
okay, is there a second?
Second that motion.
All right, roll call, please.
Wilson?
Yes.
LaShore?
Yes.
Gara?
Yes.
Secord?
Yes.
Miller, yes. Thayer?
Yes.
Townsend is absent. That motion is carried.
All right, move on to F, accounts payables, check number 56978 to check number 57108.
I'd like to make the motion to approve check number 56978 to check number 57108 in the amount of $268,809.30.
I'll second that.
All right. Second, any discussion? All right. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any diff? All right.
Motion is carried.
All right, no reason to go into closed session. I'm gonna ask comments from the board here. We're gonna start with Rose tonight. Rose, do you have any comments?
I do. Just gotta get them in order, I'm sorry.
This is the longest meeting we've had in a long time. Pushing 2 hours.
Okay, I did miss last month's meeting, so some of this that I'm talking about might have been covered, so I apologize if it was. Baker Road between Portsmouth and Reimer has been completed with a second coat of chip seal. That was a project
Okay,
we started.
hang on one second. They can't hear you. Can you check your mic, see if it's on?
They're not working.
Oh, there you go. Now,
There you go.
get a little bit closer.
All right, let's start over. Baker Road project, between Portsmouth and Reimer's been completed with the second coat of chip seal. The final coat will come next year. Townline Road was a little bit different with what we encountered. Baker Road, we decided to stay with the chip and seal because we did not have an issue with that over the winter. It was a project that was started, it was completed, and there was no upheaval or the road breaking up. So we got that done. It's good. I believe all the property owners, at least that I talked to, are happy with that. Again, the final coat will come next year. Augie asked that this be read here at the meeting, and it's in regards to the police and fire special assessment. The special assessment that we're talking about tonight with the ballot language for police and fire is not a millage. For so many years, when we talk about millages are separate and they're different than a special assessment. By law now, we can go out for a special assessment, and a special assessment would go on all properties that have structures. It would not go on vacant pieces of property, farmland. If it has a building on there, it's considered a structure, and then they would be assessed the public safety assessment. The DDA does not capture monies from a special assessment, so I want to make sure that we put that out there so everybody understands DDA does not catch that. Special assessment's no different than your garbage assessment for refuse, your street lights and so forth. DDA does not capture that. DDA only captures tax dollars within the DDA district, which is going down the Dixie Highway corridor. They do not collect monies from taxes from people that are outside of that district. The board has a right with a special assessment to reevaluate that assessment every year. So they can lower that assessment if we are fortunate enough to receive a grant. And if we can receive a grant such as police or fire department works with large grants, we can lower that assessment, and we have the right to do that on a yearly basis if we were lucky enough to obtain something like that. So a special assessment gives us that luxury of being able to work with that. Whereas a millage, if it's put on there for 5 or 10 years, that millage is set in stone and it's there. So I just want to share that from Augie. Speaking of grants, our fire chief, Pat Nelson, applied for a grant a while back. He spoke about that grant. He wasn't able to get that, unfortunately. However, they provided some good feedback to the chief, and he'll be able to reapply for that next year. So with that feedback, we're hoping that we'll have better luck. With that said, we received 2 other grants this year. Bill spoke of his for Parks and Rec. Police Chief Dave Duffett applied for a grant. He received that in the amount of $5,000, and it's toward the cost of purchasing in-car camera videos, the in-car cameras for our police cars. Officer Charlie Price has been nominated by the chief for MAD, the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. That's due to him leading the department this year on OWIs, which is operating while intoxicated. So congratulations goes out to Officer Price. He's not here, so I'll ask Dave to share that with him. We're really proud of his accomplishments out there and pulling these people over. or drinking and driving. Community yard sale, Heather may have touched on this through the Bridge Fest. We have it out on our sign out front. That's gonna be August 23rd, 24th. Deadline to register is August 8th, so we're hoping we can bring some of that to our community here with garage sales. Car show, pancake breakfast is Sunday, August 24th. Car show's 10 to 2, and the pancake breakfast at the fire department is from 8 to noon. I want to share a concern with the board, and residents may have seen this. We have a geese situation out in our parks. They kind of came and littered a lot on our governmental center sidewalks over the weekend, and there was hours spent by our DPW superintendent staff out there cleaning the droppings of these geese. We've also had it out in the parks. Bill spent some time on Sunday morning cleaning the pavilion out there because we had the park rented, and it wasn't very pleasant if that wasn't cleaned to have people come and rent our park. The other problem that we have is we have the car show coming on August 24th, which is going to be back on the island, and the geese hang out there a lot. And we have a concern. I've contacted Steve Call, that is the manager over at U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and I've spoken with him, and we're trying to come up with some plan as to what we can do. So I just want to share that so that you guys are aware that we are talking with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and trying to come up with something. Just leave for the day. Well, we can go out there and we can chase them away, and if they don't come back, we put noisemakers out there. We can have people come and bring their dogs. I don't want to say the last part. I don't want to share that there's the option to do, because I just don't want to share that. I think you guys know. Randy Bartlett left. I'm going to contact him or ask Tracy to contact him and try to get some information. He shared that he has a contractor that he is aware of that's done some work, and we are having an issue trying to get contractors to bid on these sidewalk projects, so we're working with that. So Randy will be contacted, and hopefully he can give us some information to help us out. The other thing, just want to congratulate Bill. He's done a phenomenal job with Parks and Rec. He's built that program back up again, and I have no doubt that he'll keep going with that. So that's a passion of his. When we interviewed him, he said he could make it happen, and I'll be the first to say I wasn't sure because it was going kind of down with participation with children, and he's got children back in the community, like he said, 50% more with baseball and softball this summer. He's bringing the leagues in during the summer. We've had awesome activity over at our ball field, so kudos to him on that, so thank you. And with that, I'm done talking. Back to you.
Okay. Jim?
Congratulations, Billy. That's really nice work, really nice. Dave on your officer, Vanessa on your boat, and that's all I have.
Heather?
Me? Little me?
Yeah, little you.
Congratulations, Vanessa. Good job, Bill. Thank you for the report. Keep it up, especially for Bridge Fest week. Thank you to all the sidewalk people for coming out and sharing their thoughts. And hopefully we can work together to get that taken care of. Thank you to Chief Nelson and Chief Duppett for their work on the special assessments. And don't forget the garage sale, August 23rd and 24th, the weekend, and then the pancake breakfast at the fire department on the 24th, and the car show. So we guys all enjoy. Hope to see more people coming out to the meetings.
How do people know where to sign up for that? Because I came to the township to sign up for the garage sales. And they don't have any, you got a sign out there, but.
We have forms downstairs. If you come, where you come in to pay your water bill, there's forms there.
She didn't give it to me today when I was in there.
Did you ask for it?
Yes.
Okay.
She sent me over to where the
When you walk,
pictures are.
when we're done, somebody will walk down there and grab
I've
one
got
for you.
one.
Okay.
I signed up. I went over to where the studio is.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, sir.
How many additional firefighters and policemen does the assessment cover? That's all I'm asking. It didn't say. How many additional will we get?
I don't think there's any personnel involved in this, is there?
There used to be two.
On the fire?
On the fire, does not have anything to do with personnel. They're not looking to hire personnel. They're not hiring personnel for the fire department. Fire department is renovating the building, looking at building a storage facility to start storing some of the stuff. If you ever walk over in that building, Chief Nelson would be happy to take anybody through. You'll see that they need additional storage. So it's for renovation of the building and the stuff that they need over there along with their storage. It has nothing, no personnel is included in the monies raised for that special assessment. Police department is hiring 2 additional police officers.
Make it a total.
Excuse me?
Total, how many?
Total 2.
How many are police?
Yeah.
Make it a total of 12, maybe the whole 12?
No. It'll bring our total back to a total of 9 bodies, 9 full-time bodies. This is gonna bring us back to where we were before we had all the layoffs in 2010.
Including you?
Including myself, yes.
We good?
Good.
All right, let's move on. Vanessa?
I just have 2 things. First, some of you know I ran for state rep, and I was victorious last night. I still have a general election though, so I'll continue to be working on my general election and knocking doors and meeting voters. And additionally, I made a commitment to the residents of Bridgeport that I would serve them in this position as trustee. And I will continue to do that until November, but even beyond that, I'd like to think that you guys have to hold me to it even more so if I do become your state rep, because this is my home. So, Bridgeport's always going to get a little favoritism. I don't know how much I should say that. And then finally, thank you for everyone that attended tonight's meeting about the sidewalks. I don't have sidewalks where I live, so it was very helpful for me to hear the issues and kind of boil those down and see where we can go with that. I would like to assist DPW in any way that I can. And I don't know if that's even just fielding phone calls for Ruth Ann or taking pictures for her. I hope to help them out with that. I know she's working very hard, but she's only one person. And then finally, just thank you to Bill for all of your hard work on Parks and Rec. Growing up in Bridgeport, I did a lot with Parks and Rec as a child, and so it's nice to see that that's coming back. Thank you.
Okay, I know that we don't have a lot of the people that were here concerned about the sidewalks here, but if you would pass this on. I'm grateful that you all came, and sometimes when you have a person who's working in a position like Ruth Ann, she's going to say these things, and I know that myself, I have another job, that sometimes you don't understand that everybody isn't on the same page as you. So we're gonna work on reevaluating it, making sure that your contact is good, and I'm sure Ruth Ann is ready to do that also. And we'll work on many of the issues that you said. So even though we have this timeline, we're still all going to be working, I'm assuming, on getting this straightened out so that you all understand and we do the best way and the least expensive way for all of you, and that would be our goal. Also, I'd like to congratulate Bill, congratulate Vanessa, and I'd also like to thank all the people that were involved in the election. I mean, there are people here, I myself included, that worked somewhere between, some worked 12 hours, some worked 19 hours in a day to get that finished. And we were here at 5 o'clock in the morning and we left the county at midnight. Okay, so it is a very big job, not only for us, but Tracy and Rose and all the people that work for the elections. They're over there from 6 o'clock in the morning till 8, but then beyond, because they have to get all of their tabulations in and get them to us. So it's a very, very big job. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that worked. And I'm not really crying. My eyes are watering because I'm so sleepy.
You good?
I'm good. And thank you for your good job at cheering.
Walter?
First thing I like to do is apologize to Pauline Lawrence. Yeah, I know about Tim's situation, and I knew it was someplace else that had a similar situation. And Pauline, I knew it was you, but it just didn't register. And I'm standing here saying, who is that had that same problem?
He's back up with
and I apologize. I mean, it just charged it to my 75 years. I'd like to congratulate Bill for a fine job you've done this year and an excellent report. And this young lady and I spent quite some time together yesterday, and when she wasn't there, I sold her every time someone would come up and say, well, I don't know this this Vanessa young lady. I said, she worked with me, I vouch for her. And they would say, if you vouch for her, I'm voting for her. So now, I did the best I could for you.
And he's holding you accountable now.
Well, anyway, yeah, it was a rewarding day, and to have so many people from Precinct 4 to show up that I knew. Everybody thought I knew everybody, and pretty much I did. So I thank everybody for coming out on this sidewalk issue. And the board really apologized because we didn't even know the letters was going out. And I'm just gonna put it out like it is. I was standing up talking to one of my neighbors when his letter was delivered, and then he asked me, what is this all about? What are you talking about? Because the board really didn't know. We learned about this a little late. I think if we would have, and working with the manager and Ruth Ann, it may have gone different. I'm not saying it would. I don't know. But I wish that we could have been, the board that is, could have been involved, early on. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for coming here tonight. I want to thank Tammy, Tracy Rose, that was a long day, Tammy, Tracy, Darlene,
Yes, it was.
and everyone else that was helping out the precincts.
Say one more thing?
No, you're done.
No, just one more.
No.
Looks like we're all set with the election. We've got everything we need to have, and I'd like to, another thank you to Tammy for all her help.
Well, it's everyone.
It was a
We're a
big
team.
job, and thank you.
I do want to thank everybody for working on that. The chiefs, Mike, Troy, the gentleman joined,
Yes.
every employee we have,
Yes.
we thank you. I know we wear a lot of hats. I know our jobs are, there's several job titles. But we got to do what we need to do to get this done. And we're moving in the right direction. All right. With that,
I'd like to make
I
a
want
motion
to
to
thank,
adjourn.
I'm not done. I want to thank Vanessa. I want to congratulate Vanessa. That's good. All right, need a motion for adjournment.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.